Welcome to After the Whistle. I'm Brian Moore, Greg Tester, Tom Krieger. On today's program, we've got the Belsino's Player of the Week. We also will do a recap of all of last week's games, pick our top 5 in the region, and Stump the Crig, of course, and then we've got our pigskin prognostications at the end of the program. Before we begin, gentlemen, how was your week?
Wonderful, good long weekend. I rested up, drove that bus like a champ past couple days, but it all come to an end today, and don't call me to substitute bus driver for at least a week.
You got your 2 days in this week.
That's it.
How was your week?
Mine was pretty good. It probably wasn't quite as good as Coach Krieger's on there because you know how he is. He's always doing something on the road somewhere. So.
Actually, I didn't go nowhere.
You didn't go to Vegas or nowhere?
Did not.
That's a first.
I went to Oak Vegas.
Tonight.
I went to Oak Vegas. Oakwood, Vegas.
I was getting ready to say Old Vegas is better than the New Vegas. You been to Old Vegas down there?
I have.
I like it better than New Vegas.
I flew across Oak Vegas.
You got Golden Nugget. You go to the Golden
I
Nugget.
went over the Golden Nugget. What's that called when you get strapped in there?
Strapped in.
Zip line. Zip
I
line.
don't know nothing about that.
I did that too.
Zip line.
Oh, zip line, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you
yeah.
was going somewhere else for that.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, at this time, mention our sponsors, CarQuest Auto Parts, Hurley Pharmacy, Economy Drug, Wooden Horse Grill, Grundy Auto Sales, Buchanan Therapy Service, and Buchanan General Hospital. And of course, as always, Belsino's and Hurley IGA.
And you know about IGA, boys. Y'all seen that picture on Facebook of IGA?
I did, I saw that.
That's a good meat there.
Best meat in town, and you can't beat it.
That's true.
You can't beat their meat.
All right. Well, let's go ahead, fellas, and let's take a look at last week's recap. We'll cover the scores here and see what everybody thought.
Well, first game, guys, Central at Eastside went exactly the way we said, 51 Central, 20 Eastside. And Coach Tester, you was there, and had 3 backs, rushed for over 100 yards, I think.
We did come out, played well. We had some stuff we got to brush up for us, you know, just some blocking assignments and stuff like that. But I think our backs really ran well. But hats off to Eastside, man. They actually had their best player was out, didn't get to play in the game, and I think they may have lost him for a year, which is the Whited kid over there. And that'd be a big loss for them. But they still played hard and came out, and you know, in the first half, you know, they stalled us a couple times, but I just think that our speed just kind of took over the game, you know, as far as late in the game, they just couldn't catch us.
We pretty much had a commanding lead at halftime too.
Yes.
Was able to get probably some other players some experience in the game. Wise Central. And for real, the defense played really well. We'll talk about defense. I mean, pitched a shutout in the first half. I don't know if you know, maybe the second team. I think they might have scored on the second team, but I know they pitched a shutout in the first half. You know, 38 zip. So, hats off to Coach Blevins at Central with his defense this week. All right, Coach Krieger, what's the next one we got?
Boys, the next game on the docket was Gate City at Ernie Hicks Stadium. And you know, I've been down in my back and I rubbed that cream on it all week, and guess what? It didn't help.
Sure did.
It did not help.
They hooked you up live support this weekend.
Guys, when I seen that, I knew that Coach Housewright, would change the culture over there and get it back to the old Gate City, and stuff, but I didn't know that he'd be that quick. Boys, he brought the wing tee over to Ernie Hicks Stadium to run against what I think was a good front four at Richlands and scored 40 points. That's
pretty impressive. They
impressive.
eat up about 9 minutes. I think it was 8 minutes 50-some seconds in the fourth quarter, which is
That's big.
classic.
And it's what and when you're up, that's you don't want to be down. But boys, it's crazy. Congratulations to Coach Housewright and his staff and his team for coming over there and doing something that probably nobody in the area thought he could do, except them, except their team.
I don't think nobody in the area would have picked that.
No, I don't think
but
so.
maybe Coach Housewright.
Coach, that's what I'm saying. Their team, their fans, I mean,
How would you like to be, I think they're at Legion this week. How would you like to be at Legion Field this week?
Should.
After that win? It's
and
gonna-
guess what else?
It's gonna be like going back in the day.
Guess what else that Gate City done? They stopped Coach Mance from getting his 200th win.
That's right.
I bet you about fell over.
I don't know.
County Coach Housewright gets his first win, and it was a delayed game also. I think about 20, 30 minutes late due to maybe a flat or something on the bus or what have you. But I'm sure them extra 20 minutes, the nerves probably built up, and but it seemed to pay off in the end. That's a pretty good, not just a first win. That's a darn
Big
good first
win,
win.
big win, big for Gate City community, and that put a lot of pressure on Gate City now to move on out after beating a team like that.
Sure does.
Now the pressure is on Richlands because they got to get a win this week. Because if they don't get one,
Richlands is in a tough
The
spot.
pressure's on. The pressure's
their
on.
schedule.
All right, who we got next? We'll come back to this game here.
Next game was John Battle at Abingdon. About predicted that one. Abingdon 45, John Battle 14. Don't know much about it. Didn't read a lot about it. But Abingdon wins big there. All right, 40 Union at Lee. Union 41, Lee 7. No surprise there. Ridgeview at J.I. Burton. Ridgeview 40, J.I. Burton 13. But what I hear was the ball game was pretty close in the second quarter.
I think it was first half. From what I've heard, it was 13-8 ball game. Maybe midway through the second quarter, then Ridgeview blew it open, and Atkins ran wild after that. So
They got a case of that Atkins diet, didn't they?
Yeah, sure did. That's a good one there. That's a good one. My understanding was same as Coach Tester's here is that Burton was game for a pretty good while there, but when we talked about this last week, we suspected that that's what would happen, but they would eventually get worn down, and that appears to be what happened. And as of course what you said, they got a heavy dose of
The Atkins diet.
the Atkins diet. All right, what else we got?
Like that, Nick.
That's good.
All right, you got Honeacre at Lebanon. Honeacre 14, Lebanon 0. Figured Honeacre would win. Surprising at the score, Lebanon must have played pretty good.
they say they're improved.
You know, the rumors that were circulating earlier in the season, you know, we went and talked to them over there at the Twin Valley, and they could show up with 30-some players. You know, there was that rumor circulating that Lebanon wouldn't even have enough players, which was totally a false rumor. It wasn't anything true about it.
Totally fabricated, fake news.
Fake news, yes. But more than likely, that probably motivated the kids a little bit too, you know, everybody thinking that they were going to be down. They had to be game. Of course, that's always a game you can throw the records out the window, and a lot of county pride on the line there. And Honeacre hangs on and gets the win.
All right, next game we have Tazewell at Virginia High.
Oh, somebody's eating some crows.
Something, ain't no eating
some
crows. Something must have happened.
Oh, God.
I think Virginia High might have put their ninth grade team out there or something. They got to be young.
Well, the interesting thing about this
You
was
need to
that
move the tassel.
this game was played at your old stomping ground
Where?
over at Emory.
Oh, was that the,
Yes,
who was
this
playing?
game was played at Emory over at Fred Self Stadium, and Josiah Jordan, I think it was, had
See, that's why-
25 yards rushing.
That's what happened. They got Tazewell on that turf.
Yeah,
See, if they had them on that
Tazewell,
mud like
Joe.
over at Hurley and
At the
stuff.
Clift.
At the Clift and up there at Graham, they wouldn't have scored 55.
Who'd y'all pick to win this game?
I picked Virginia High.
I did too. And I don't know why.
55-14. I did take the Bulldogs on this one.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's my bad.
Tazewell racked up
Yeah.
almost 500 yards on the ground.
Well,
Virginia High, I'm afraid it's going to be a long season for them.
boys, it's going to be a long season for Tazewell, too.
you heard that, Tassel?
Wow. Pressure on who else?
It's like yes, boys. You know, I know I'm hard on them and everything, but I give them some bulletin board. I want them to do good. They got good athletes over there. If they
No,
win,
you
if they
don't.
win,
No, you
if
don't.
they win this Friday, I will root for them every week.
Oh, I'd say you will.
Who's playing?
I don't know, but I'll root for them every week.
All right.
If they win this Friday, I'll wear Tazewell gear from head to toe.
Okay.
Every show.
Well, I will pay to see that.
Every show.
Give us some.
That's what you said last week.
No, I
You
did.
said something like that.
I
last
did not
week.
say nothing like that last week. We'll rewind the show. All right. Next game, Grundy at Twin Valley, and I went to that game, and exactly what we talked about. Twin Valley hung around, then all of a sudden, it turned into the Ian Scammell show there at the end. Kind of wore Twin Valley down. Twin Valley got a couple injuries, and Grundy just went on to win the ball game ease.
It was basically kind of how we thought it would go.
Yeah,
Close, and then
it was a good ball game, great ball game.
Twin Valley had their chances early on in the game. They get the ball down the 3-yard line, turn it over, in position to possibly take the lead, and then right before halftime, we've still got a tight game, and I think it was around a minute to go, and I think it was Scammell broke one about 48 yards down the sideline, and that put Grundy up 14 to 8 at half?
Yes.
14 to 8 at the half, and still was a pretty good game, but Twin Valley just unable to move the ball.
A couple
offensively.
fumbles, and it got a little bad luck. A kid, I think might have been Xavier, intercepted the ball on the 2, and then the next play, I think Grundy got a safety. I mean, what do? You don't tell a kid when it's second or third down to knock the ball down. You don't give them another chance. You catch the ball, and it's just.
Had it been fourth down,
You said who broke one down the sideline? Scammell.
I think it was Scammell.
They didn't bring David Scammell back, did they?
Not David Scammell. No.
But close.
I don't know if he can make it down the sideline today. You think?
I don't know.
No
comment, Dave. That was Coach Moore.
Yeah, he would have got run down.
Man.
What else we got?
It's what you said, Krieger.
No, I didn't say it. Coach Moore
Twin
said
Valley
it.
did have Twin Valley did have an injury to the tight end Connor Welch.
And I think he's out for the year.
He's out for the season with a broken elbow, and it hurt it on the last play of the game.
Twin Valley.
So, yeah.
Next game was Tug Valley at the Clift. And have they fixed have they put the T on it over there yet?
Last time I was over there, they did a lot of nice work on the field, but they forgot to put the T on the Clift. Still looks
Beefy's upset about that. He said, "Hey, the T."
Still says the Cliff.
All right,
So that's where
guys.
you get that from. Beefy calls it the Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got over there when
I mean, I know
I want to tell the story.
So here we are. How many episodes we in?
no,
He just now figured this out.
I forgot.
You just
I
figured
forgot
out.
why y'all were saying that, but now I remember. So.
Beefy got over there and said, "Y'all didn't even know how to spell Cliff. You left the T off of it."
And that's real
Talk.
That's real talk, people. That's genuine. It's not fabricated. It don't come out of Krieger's mouth, but it's real. It's the truth.
All right, guys, Hurley come in. I think it was close for a little bit, but never was in doubt of Hurley losing, I don't think. And Hurley wins 22-14.
It was actually a big win and a first big win for Coach Austin Cooper there. I texted him after the game. I told him congratulations because it took me 10 games to get my first win. so that's a big win for him. And I watched a little bit of the film actually on Huddle, and I thought they played well. They jumped out 14-0. I think they may have turned the ball over a couple times, let Tug back into the game. And Tug Valley not bad. Had a bunch of big linemen, and I thought Hurley's line came off the ball well. And I think they came out with a big interception late. Hurley did when Tug Valley was driving with a couple minutes left. I think Tyler Young came up with a big interception and sealed the deal for Hurley. So it was actually a big win.
Well, it's a good start for Hurley. District-wise, we've got Hurley and Homenecker both with wins. And I know most people are speculating it's going to come down between those two teams. So it's a good way to start out of the gate.
All right, and the game of the week, guys. Graham at Bluefield, and I had a couple buddies that went to that game that talked with the athletic director and some people at Bluefield. Guess how much they made off of that game?
$25,000.
$60,000 in that one game. And they showed me videos. They were nowhere to see it. Last time it was that packed, Eric Church was in there at a concert.
About that.
It's crazy stuff. But, again,
It's almost as much as we made at that Twin Valley Grundy game.
close.
Close.
Guys, it was an easy pick, and no disrespect to Graham, but to be the team in Bluefield area, you got to beat them at least once.
Well, from the people that I've talked to that were there, that actually saw it, the game they're saying it was, Graham did everything that they were supposed to do to win the game, or I'll say they did more than probably Bluefield did, but Bluefield just had just a little bit more than they did, but Graham.
41-27.
I heard people say it was one of the more sloppier games that they've seen between the two teams in the past as well. Felt like Graham had their opportunity, and they did. They came knocking on the door there at the end of the game. We just weren't able to finish it out. I think that's a good sign for Coach Palmer and his team, even though they didn't come out there to win. I think it's going to be
No moral victories.
yeah, well, I think when it's a big rivalry like that, I can understand there really aren't any moral victories.
No.
But looking at it from our perspective, I think that's an indication that Graham's going to be pretty daggone tough. Any other games we've got?
That's it.
Okay, I got a couple scores here. Fort Chiswell 15, Rural Retreat 14. Your buddy Jimmy Hughes.
Jamie. That's a good game. I mean,
I think Patrick Henry beat Castlewood 41-6.
Yeah.
I think, so.
and early in that game it was close.
Yeah.
Holston 53, Eastmont 26. The PH game, I think Brown had 153 yards rushing for Patrick Henry, so that's just another. You're going to start looking and seeing that, and probably one of the more impressive things.
188, didn't he too?
Yeah.
Also.
Another one of the interesting things is that PH limited Castlewood to 119 yards total offense. Listen, Castlewood, we saw them at scrimmage; they was able to move the ball.
Yeah.
So that tells you that PH got a pretty solid defense as well. That's something that it's going to have to come in and play for them down the line. All right. Next, we've got our Big Talk segment. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to the show. It's time for a Big Talk segment. And Big Talk today, we're going to be talking about the big upset and your observations about what happened in the Gate City game with Richlands. We've already mentioned it a little bit, but let's chime in here and what your guys' thoughts are on it.
Boys, I have no idea. I haven't talked with anybody from Richlands. It's Labor Day weekend. Didn't really know much about what went on except they brought the wing tee and absolutely ran it.
And they say, Richlands
And sent the
struggles
fullback
with the wing tee. Look at some of the big games they've lost. State championship 2010 faced a wing tee team in Pocosin. And in semifinals one year, was it Greene County or somebody that beat them up at running wing? Somebody did up there that ran the wing tee. Just seems like it always gives them trouble.
Well, I know the three of us, and both, and you guys especially, big wing tee people. I believe it's probably the best offense in football, but it's so effective. But a lot of people don't want to run it because it's not as pretty. It's not as fancy as everything
flashy.
else. Winning ball games is a lot prettier than flash.
That's Gate City right now.
And it works and it's effective. And you may see more teams start reverting back to these things. Usually that's the way these trends go. You see a lot more spread and stuff like that, but you get the lead, it's hard to get the ball away from somebody.
And that's the thing. The reason I thought Richlands had a good shot of winning, never thought they'd lose.
Thought they had a good shot.
If they got ahead, if they could get ahead by a couple touchdowns, then the wing tee changes a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's hard to grind that back out.
Yeah, it's not built for coming from way
Then you
behind.
got to run spread wing tee.
Then you got, there you go, or pistol.
Yeah.
Getting a pistol. Speaking of pistol. So I saw a meme, actually a photo that somebody put on Facebook the other night, and had a picture of Legion Field and had the cloud cover coming in, and I forget exactly what the meme said, but it was referencing something in reference to throwing back to the good old days or whatever, something that way. I would like to be there Friday night because I think that place is gonna be packed.
Well, guys, I'm looking here, what we have here is Gate City, what it says about his Gate City played old school Blue Devil football in the fourth quarter, holding the ball for 8 minutes and 42 seconds and using a 265-pound fullback, Michael Calhoun, like a battering ram. Calhoun ran 13 times for 92 yards and a touchdown in that game. That's the fullback.
Now, you've got a fullback, you can run it.
That's right.
And they evidently got one.
Yes, I mean, that's impressive there in the fourth quarter. 8 minutes. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Anything that you get. I talked to Ronnie Davis this weekend, and he was telling me that they get them in a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 situation, boom, they get a first down, and they just was wearing them down defensively. They couldn't get the ball away from them, and he said, give them credit. He said Gate City brought it, so they were a much better ball team than what a lot of people thought, and he said going into the game they knew they were going to have a tough battle, but
my thing is, out of all of it, are they going to put that cake they had in the freezer for this week? Do they save it or do they eat it?
You probably know that you're in the household up there.
No, I know that they were ready for that 200th win that got put on hold.
yeah, he did.
And now they got to go to Union. They can't freeze that thing twice. Once you unthaw stuff, you got to eat it.
We didn't think you'd show up today.
That's true.
We didn't think you'd be here.
That's true.
I was down in the dumps a little bit. Ain't gonna lie.
That Matt's cream's froze up.
Matt's cream did not help my back at all this weekend.
They'll be back, guys. I'd say they'll be back.
Well, you know as well as I do. They got a veteran staff. They're gonna work the kids. The kids got a great work ethic. They may take their lumps, but come playoff time, you don't want to play them. We know
That's
that.
right. You're right. But boys, with this schedule and what they got,
That's true.
Boy, the playoff. I mean, they.
What?
Is it possible that Richland may not be in the playoffs? We need to agree.
I don't know. Not right now. I mean, boy.
You about to say what I thought you was gonna say?
I didn't say it. I don't know what was happening. I had
to say, boy, you about to pull tassel on.
I didn't know. What's that? Oh no.
Smack up and wait, come back to reality.
You gonna jump on that tassel bus here for too long.
He almost said it, folks, right here. You just about seen the relapse, but he's back with us. Another shout out in getting his first ever. Well, I'll take it back. Not his first ever. It wasn't his first ever win. Was Coach Warner at Twin Springs? Want to mention that they did go 1-9 last year, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah, he picked up. They did pick up a win. Shout out to him for getting that win against Northwood. His team looked much improved, so I know that he's excited over there. And in other news, big news, Coach Jimbo Adams at J.I. Burton, the injunction that he had put in place was denied, and so he will not be reinstated as football coach at J.I. Burton. So just wanted to mention that. That's in the news as well. When we come back after this, we will go to the Bellacino's Player of the Week. We'll be back right after these messages. All right, welcome back to the show. It's that time of the week where we now recognize our Bellacino's Player of the Week. Bellacino's located in Grundy, Virginia. Stop by and see them. They've got grinders, what some people call subs.
Hoagies and grinders, navy beans, navy beans, meatloaf sandwich.
All right, I don't know where that came from. But they've got pizza, they've got salad, they've got grinders.
Hoagies and grinders,
They
hoagies
also
and grinders.
serve ice cold beverages.
Got it all.
They've got it all, and Bellacino's now caters. So
Caters those beverages to your house.
I don't know about that, but they do cater. You can get party boxes, things of that nature,
Or party buckets.
as well. So stop by Bellacino's in Grundy, Virginia, and they're open 7 days a week. Is that right?
7 days a week.
7 days a week, and occasionally they have entertainment here. So keep your ears open and in regards to their entertainment. You got a Facebook page, don't you?
We do. Some will be coming soon.
Some entertainment coming soon. Visit their Facebook page and find out when the entertainment's coming. It's a really good time to come down
No, I mean,
here.
we don't got a Facebook page. We just post it on ours.
I'll just post it on there.
Yeah, we don't
All right.
have Facebook.
I can take care of that. I'll help you out with that. All right, with that being said, we're gonna turn things over to Coach Tester, and he's gonna recognize our Bellacino's Player of the Week.
All right, guys, we had a lot of worthy candidates this week. Had some kids over Hurley who had a great game in their first win of the season. Had Matthew Blankenship, all the running backs over, Matthew Blankenship, John Matt Justice, and Dustin Stinson all had big games for the Rebels. But the one that stood out to us this week was Mr. Ian Scammell of the Grundy Golden Wave, freshman running back. First varsity game ever, rushed for 188 yards on 30 carries and 3 touchdowns. So we're going to welcome Ian Scammell onto the show at this time.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And he is kin to David Scammell.
There you go. Thank you. All right, Ian, big game for you. First ever varsity game, big performance, 188 yards, kind of a tight game at first, and then you kind of opened it up with them with 188 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Talk a little bit about your performance there.
It was good. We came out and we played good. Our linemen and blockers did a good job. Blake did a good job stepping in. And we got a few things to work on, but we're ready to go.
Good deal. I know just the performance alone for a freshman was just, the numbers itself was just stunning. And like I said, guys, looks like you'll be seeing a lot more of this kid around for 4 more years. So get ready for some of that. And guys, you got some questions for
Yeah,
him?
hey, Ian, you might remember this. I think it was, I think when you guys, I think it was the 3rd touchdown maybe that you guys scored. One of the guys that was keeping the chains was talking to me this weekend. He said, Coach Plymouth took you guys aside. I think it might have been 4th down. He was talking to you guys about how big the play was, and you know it's time to step it up and try to put the game out of reach. Can you go back to that play? And was that you that carried it?
Yeah, it was. He told me, he said it was a game-winning first down. If we got this, it was a game was going to score and it was going to be good. It's a lot of pressure, but it's went my way.
Well, they get the timeout, gather you guys together. He even was instructing everybody, telling them who they had to pick up on the blocks and everything. If they do their job, makes your job a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yep, it does.
Coach, you got anything?
Yeah, I got a question. Just like they said, good job as a freshman, great first game. You got your first game out of the way, but my question or my thing is number 25 special in our family. You know that, as long with a couple other numbers, and we hold that when we watch Grundy. When we do go to a game, it is good to see 25 out there, especially on a Scammell. And how do you feel about wearing your cousin's number or your number? I mean, I'm not just saying the same number your cousin wore, David.
It feels good. I know David did good in that. Jacob did good in that. And just hoping I can.
Hold on.
Interrupt this
Hold on.
program
We
for a
interrupt
phone
this.
call.
That was a douchebag, Eric.
I mean, Anthony Church, for those of you who do not know who that is.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
This would
David,
happen on ESPN, sorry about that.
David and Jacob did good in that number, and just playing do just as good as they did.
And just keep it going. That's good. I know I've watched you play a couple games last year in the JV and stuff. You've got a good future ahead of you. You're a great kid. You come from a good family, and congratulations on your first game, and good luck.
Thanks.
Got a lot of high expectations now, so you set the table high with this performance, so a lot of high expectations.
30 carries. Coach Plymouth don't care to give you the ball as long as you're willing to run with it. So I'm sure you're probably gonna see other nights where you're gonna touch the ball more than that. So you've got a lot of work cut out for you, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
All right, we'll be back right after these messages.
You gotta get a picture with it.
Yeah. Just
Pause.
pause it.
Yes.
Just pause it. We'll see. All right, welcome back to the show. This portion of the program brought to you by Buchanan Therapy Services, and stop by and check them out if you got a little hitch and you get up.
Hey guys, wait a minute. I got breaking news. Walmart is now a gun-free zone. They're changing their name to Target. There are no guns. You should change their name to Target.
Okay.
There you go. Just making sure. Y'all need to do that.
All right, breaking news. All right. It's Buchanan Therapy Service. You got a little bit of hitching, you get up or whatever, you got a problem, check them out. Of course, the information on the commercial there. Buchanan Therapy Services sponsors the Coach's Corner segment each week, and this week our Coach's Corner is Austin Cooper, head football coach at Hurley High School, and we'd like to welcome Austin onto the show. Yeah, I'll pipe in the crowd noise.
Boys, he is the winningest football coach percentage-wise at Hurley ever right now.
Might retire tomorrow. Who knows?
Ever.
That is true.
Ever.
100% winning percentage.
Ever.
Coach, welcome to the show. Before we jump into any questions or anything, I'm gonna let Coach Tester get on because he's the old Hurley fella here, so I'm gonna let him grill you a little bit. And we'll go from there. Congratulations on your win, though.
Thank you.
Man, I know your nerves was racking there probably around 7 o'clock game time on Friday, and you had first game as a head coach, and I know what it felt like, but I know after the game, I know how happy you was, and yeah, watched film, y'all played a good ball game. Talk about the ball game a little bit.
We did play well. We came out really hot. You know, we jumped up 14-0 real quick. We allowed them to climb back in a little bit, which we were not happy with, so we definitely got to clean that up. But, you know, up front, anytime you can rush for 330 yards as an offense, you got to compliment your line, you got to compliment your backs all together. You know, I think offensively, that was the best we'd looked from our scrimmages into week one. Defensively, we were sound. We were worried about the running game. We shut it down quick. We allowed some deep passes. I think we scored a pass from 43 yards out and another deep one. You take those two plays out of the game, you know, we're up 22-0 quick. Ball security, something we got to work on. We fumbled twice inside the 20. Easily could put the game away in the first half, and it didn't happen. So definitely some things to clean up, but anytime you get a win, you got to be happy. So.
Well, I noticed that, you know, you're running the football a lot and being a quarterback. And one of my former players who I really know likes to throw the ball, he's kind of sticking to the wing tee right now and grinding it out. And I think he's doing well and doing what he's got to do. So, you know, what's it like being a former quarterback trying to run the wing tee?
It does get frustrating at times. You always want to revert back to that pass, but you know, we know what we're built for. We're not a passing football team. We're a running football team. We got a big offensive line. We got some great backs. You know, we're just trying to be patient. We're trying to control the game. We're trying to, you know, to go with our strengths. And right now, it's not passing the ball; it is running. So we're trying to stick with what we got.
I think that's what makes a good coach is fitting your personnel and being able to adjust your game to your personnel, fit your personnel. You know, and a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people wants to run what they know or what they want to run,
Or what looks pretty.
What looks pretty, but being able to adjust it to what you have and your personnel is the way to go, and I think you're doing exactly that.
Coach, what's it feel like? How's it different being a player, you know, at Hurley and now being the head football coach? Kind of explaining the different emotions and feelings that you get compared to the way they were when you were a player.
I tell everybody, man, it's a lot more nerve-wracking as a coach. I think it is rather than a player. Simply for the fact I don't think you can control what goes on. As a player, you can always know that you can do something about it. As a coach, you just got to rely on, did I do enough during the week to prepare my team to go out and get stuff done? So I think that's the biggest difference. But nothing. I mean, the joy of winning is the same as a player, as a coach. You know, you're a little more proud as a coach, I guess, because it goes back to the fact that it's not you. You know, you've done everything for the 28 kids that's on the field that week instead of yourself. So.
Did your dad, is he helping now?
Yes.
That's my question. That's my question.
All right, go ahead. I'll let
You already asked him a question. Speaking of that, they already asked you everything that needs to ask. You answered it very well. I mean, you done good in your first game. Like you said, my thing first, what I was going to say, is jumping out on any team 14-0 is huge. Like it makes you feel good, even though they scored and you battled it off. But scoring the first 14 points basically won you the ball game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that was good on that. But now my
That
question.
was your question.
No, my question is how with your dad on staff, how do you contain him? I mean, I was told now, and it's come from a reliable source, that he chewed on every official they were there.
You all know him as well as I do. He's going to chew on officials from the time it starts to the time it ends. At one point I looked out and he was at the hash marks, man, out there chewing out a ref. I had to pull him back and get him on the sideline. Man, he's a head case, that's for sure. But it's nice to be on the sideline with him, and we got to enjoy that first win together. I mean, that's something we can always remember. So.
And he's on your staff, get your first win, and I'm sure he was more excited than you were.
Oh, he was.
Well, if you ever been a head coach, you have the power of delegation. So have you actually delegated some menial work to him that he's had to do that maybe he wouldn't have wanted to do?
Well, we're slowly working him into it. He's taking steps, and he's starting to become a coach slowly but surely.
I did notice he had Connie Joe doing his AD work.
Well,
when he was on the sideline.
Here's another
concession
thing.
stand.
Did you run chicken and dumplings or mashed potatoes? I think he run that over at Whitewood, didn't he?
Yes.
Moore was there.
Yeah, I was there with him. Yeah, we had the cornfield spread, and we had dinner on the ground with a side order of mashed potatoes. Then we just had dinner on the ground. We just had those things. I got to work with he and Coach Davis, and you've got Little Davis helping you defensively. Talk to us a little bit about
That has to be big right there.
Man,
veteran.
Best defensive coach in the state of Virginia, in my opinion. I was lucky enough to have him on my staff. He is a huge asset to us. He took a few years off. We're happy to get him back. I think he's enjoying it. He's getting his stuff back in, but we wouldn't be where we were without him, that's for sure.
I'd like to ask him why he gave up those 2 touchdowns.
Why would you give up? Why'd you give up them passes and them touchdowns? That's on you.
I can promise you he took it personally.
Oh, yeah.
I can assure you that. Speaking of Brandon, and him, being just a great defensive coach, you guys got some really neat preparation you got to prepare for this coming week, because you're going to be facing one of the rare things that you ever run into, and that's a single wing.
Giles.
Well, it's not Giles, but it's Rycove, and I'm telling you, it's a lot like the wing tee. Yet it's an equalizer in a lot of ways. It kind of helps give them a little bit of an edge. Yeah,
absolutely. Coaching at Giles for 3 years and seeing how dangerous the single wing can be, it does scare you a little bit. But I do think that Brandon's prepared well. We prepared well as a staff. We watched film, we broke it down. I give a little bit of my insight running the single wing at Giles, so I know a little bit about what goes on, and we're hoping we're in the right spots. We just got to make the tackles. So they got 2 backs, man. They're bowling balls. They're big kids. They can roll for sure.
So how relieved was you when Brandon told you he was going to do it? I know he was up in the air this summer, so.
We was back and forth, man, all summer long, and I really almost ran out of options.
Yeah, because that's crazy. Because
he did me like
he didn't help Greg or help Anthony.
He helped me for 10 years. What are you talking about?
The last 2 years.
I think he finally got tired of me calling him and asking him, man. He just decided, heck with it, he's going to do it. I don't know. Yeah.
Persistence pays
off. But for real, he's a really great
one of the best.
He's
one of the best.
So
one of the best.
All right, well, Coach, we ask you to, if you don't care, stay with us. You don't have to leave anytime soon, do you?
No, sir.
All right, we've got a few more segments left of the program. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after. After these messages. And we are at it once again today, and we have a question for you. Coach Crig, are you ready?
I'm ready.
He is ready. All right. Well, in my hands here, I have an envelope. This envelope has been hermetically sealed, placed in a bank vault for the last 7 days under watchful security. It was delivered here just moments ago on a Brinks armored truck by an armed security guard, and now we have it. He hasn't seen the questions. I haven't even seen the question. I'm going to read it. We're going to try to stump the Crig. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's take a look, see what we've got here. We may have more than one question today. If 2 mind readers read each other's mind, whose mind are they reading?
Well, it's funny you asked that. I knew you was gonna ask that question. Cause I read your mind. So that's not fair. I read your mind.
You read my mind,
Yeah.
you knew I was gonna ask that question.
See, but if a mind reader was reading mine while I was reading them,
I would have known that you would have
Mind
known.
reader would read.
that would cause you to be putting,
If you're reading his mind, and he's reading your mind, whose mind you read?
I don't know, I get confused when two people talk at the same time anyway. And I hear people talking in my mind, so they trying to read it. So, I don't know.
Alright, so that one there, you knew before I
knew,
read it.
yes.
You knew before
I
I
already
read
knew
it, so
before
we
you read
failed
it.
to stump him on that one. I'll give him one more. Oop, that must be me.
You calling yourself.
Call myself, alright. Last question here, we'll try one more. What does water taste like?
Water tastes like, oh, that's easy. It tastes like Coors Light.
Water tastes like Coors Light. How do you figure that?
Because they say Coors Light tastes like water.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know, I never
That's
drunk
pretty
it.
good. That's a
drink
darn
Coors
good
Light.
answer, actually. I'll take
But,
that.
I mean, everywhere I go, if you're in school when you're dancing and out at the library and reading and everything, people says, gosh, it tastes like water. And every time they showed you, it was a Coors Light. So water tastes like Coors Light.
Water tastes, that's a good answer. That may be one of your more brilliant answers. All right, folks, once again, we have failed to stump the Crig. Once he already knew the question before we even read it, and then now Coors Light, water tastes like Coors Light. All right. Up next year, let's see what we've got. All right, we'll be back right after this from Hurley IGA. All right, folks, welcome back to the show. Once again, our top 5 in 1A and 2A. We'll present them to you here in just a second. Each week, this segment is brought to you by Hurley IGA, located in Hurley, Virginia. They sell a wide variety of sandwich trays, meat trays, fruit trays, basically any type of tray that you might need for your party or celebration. Stop by and check it out. They also have the area's largest and best selection of meats. That's Hurley IGA, located in Hurley, Virginia.
Hey guys, you know about this IGA meat. You can't beat their meat. Get over there and eat some of that meat.
All right.
You can't beat their meat.
Early IGA. All right, gentlemen, now it's time for our top 5. And of course, a little bit different than we did it last year. Each of us will present a top 5 and we will roll from there. And let's, who wants to start the day off?
I'll go first.
Let's start with 1A.
Yeah, my 1A, I don't think it changed this week.
I can't remember who I picked last week.
I know who you didn't pick.
All that mind
But,
reading.
but you knew what was in that envelope.
Yeah.
I got Doug Hubbard and the Homeacre Tigers coming in at number 5. I think I had them at number 5 this week. So, had to toss around in my head Hurley Homeacre right now, but I'm not going to put the pressure on Mr. Cooper till next week. I may put the pressure on him next week after he gets him a W this week. So, number 5, we got Homeacre. Number 4, I still got George with at number 4. They had a big loss to Radford, but guys, Radford's a different animal up there in 2A. Seen him with some 7-on-7 stuff, a lot of speed. So I still got George with at number 4 in 1A. Number 3, I still got the John I. Burton Raiders. Big loss to Ridgeview. Played well for a half, but I still think they're one of the top teams in 1A. Number 2, I still got Malibu, Mark, Palmer's, Patrick Henry Rebels at number 2. And that could change to number 1 here possibly shortly. So we'll see what happens. At number 1, still got them Chilhowie Warriors at number 1.
Well, you see anything change on yours then?
I don't think it did on 1A. I got some change in 2A.
And 1A, I've got J.I. Burton, Raiders at number 5. The loss bumped them back a little bit, but I still think they're one of the top teams in 1A. And I've got the Homeacre Tigers at number 4. With their win over Lebanon, Coach Hubbard's crew cracked them into the top 5 here in 1A. And I left George Wythe at number 3, considering who they lost to. They played a powerhouse in Radford. Still think maybe they've got one of the premier teams as well in 1A. Then I've got Coach Potter, Malibu Mark and his crew, Rebels over there at PH at number 2, and Chilhowie Warriors at number 1. And as you said, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yes.
So until then, I will leave the Warriors there.
Somebody's gonna win out of them this week. You got Chilhowie and Burton, right?
They
Playing
play this week.
So we'll see.
I got a 1 and a 5 play.
Well, guys, mine, I can't, like I said, I can't remember yesterday, but I don't know who I picked last week, but my number 5 team's George Wythe. I watched them play. I think losing to Radford, scoring 20-some points on Radford's pretty good. Radford's got a lot of speed. Number 4, I've got John I. Burton. I've watched them play, and I've watched George Wythe. I still think J.I. Burton is a little ahead of George Wythe, but be a good game. Who plays this week? You say Chilhowie and
J.I. Burton.
J.I. Burton. Well, J.I. Burton's got a tough schedule, don't they?
Yeah.
Number 3, I got the Hurley Rebels. Ain't no pressure at all. Everybody, I mean, you know what they got. You know what they got. I feel like they go in this week and win. I mean, and they win big. I mean, nothing. It's just what I'm just going on what Hurley has. Their offensive line, their running back, and they're number 3 right now to me. And I'm going to say this right now. I know skipping and looking down in a couple of weeks, they might move up. Number 2, I have PH, Patrick Henry. Same reason that you all, and I got Chilhowie at number 1, just because, you got to beat the team if you want to be up there on top.
So all 3 of us have Chilhowie at 1 and
Patrick
PH
Henry
at
too.
2.
But I'm going not so fast, my friend, here in a couple of weeks.
All right, we'll go back to 2A here. What do you got, Coach?
2A, we got a little bit of shake-up going here.
Gosh, mine's sugar. All sugar. Yeah. Oh, Elvis, boy.
Number 2, at 2A. Number 5, I got the Gate City Blue Devils popping in at number 5.
Well, can you believe this?
That's
Number
weak.
5.
Can you remember how we was acting
Yeah.
last year?
Hey, well.
I mean, it was like, as soon as you announced 2 days playing before you could get it out of your mouth.
I said, no.
Yeah. And now look at you, got them in the top 5.
And number 4, I got Coach Crig's Tazewell Bulldogs at number 4. You picked them to lose this week, and they just put it on Virginia High at your old alma mater.
Everybody gets lucky.
You're that Tazewell. He just said y'all was lucky. I don't know what we're gonna do. Get him on the bandwagon.
Boys, I'm giving them. That's why they're winning 55-12.
All right, Tazewell number 4.
I'm gonna take credit for most of it. But I'm telling you, if they win this week, I'm telling you, I'll wear Tazewell gear the rest of the year.
Got the Union Bears at number 3. I got the Ridgeview Wolfpack at number 2, and still Tony Palmer's G-Men at number 1. Even though they lost to Bluefield, I still think they're the top team in 2A.
Okay, I'm similar to what you have as far, for the most part, but I have Tazewell at number 5. I think the Bulldogs are worthy of that until they prove otherwise. Hopefully they won't leave the defense anywhere. And I've got Central Wise in at number 4, and I think there's some wiggle room for them to move up as well. I think they're one of the gonna be my dark horse team for the year. And then I have Union at 3, just like you did. Had Ridgeview at number 2, and Graham, the G-Men at number 1 in 2A. So you and I see pretty much eye to eye, 1, 2, 3 there. What do you got, Coach?
Well, number 5, guys. 5 Guys. That's a restaurant. Very good hamburger.
Unless you're allergic to peanuts, then you won't ever swim.
Number 5, I have the Richlands Blue Tornadoes. I'm heartbroken.
They had to drop out.
Stop this just for a second here.
I couldn't pick them on out.
Did you notice no Richlands in the top 5, no Richlands in the top 5 here?
He's still hanging.
And we they're hanging on by 3.
Hey, I've got faith. I've got faith. And here's what's surprising. My number 4 team is Wise Central. Still high on Wise.
That's where I got wise.
Well, when you got speed and you're running the ball and you can keep the ball from people, look what Gate City did.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
I like it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Plain team.
I think Wise is right there at 4. I think right now, that Wise could move up, but my number 3 team was not even in the top 5 last week, and that is the Gate City Blue Devils. That's how much that win was for them. Because you beat somebody that nobody, except people in Gate City, thought you could win. You done something. Especially going into Ernie Hicks, all the emotions, the big R, they deserve to be in the top 5 and at
They
3rd.
might have some basketball players out this
I don't-
week.
I don't know about that.
I know, hey, I got Gate City and Coach Housewright and his staff. If you can prepare and get ready for game 1
That's true.
against a team like that, a lot of people started out with some little, as they call cupcakes.
Well, they predicted to lose 35-0 in the newspaper.
Not even score.
Yeah.
Not even score. So they're doing something right. Congratulations to Gate City. You beat the big R, upset me, but happy in the same way for Coach Housewright and staff. But Gate City's my number 3 team. My number 2 team is the my Ridgeview Wolfpack, baby. Ridgeview. I'd love to put you up our number 1, but I can't right now. Probably won't all year, but Ridgeview Wolfpack is number 2. And guys, I'm going to say Graham G-Men's my number 1, and I'm going to say it right now. On September the 4th, Graham G-Men will not lose another regular season game or a region game.
Big statement.
They will win the region. They will not lose another
Not
game.
even the big R when they meet them?
No. I just,
So no Union in your top 5.
no Union. Sorry,
Oh,
Coach Turner.
Lord.
Sorry, Coach Boston.
Ah.
But you can get in there and you can knock out my big R this week.
I don't know if they'd knock them out of your top 5. They beat them by 50. All right. That's it for our IGA top 5. Sponsored and brought to you by Hurley IGA. We'll be back right after these messages with our pigskin prognostications.
Corey now watching.
Welcome back to the show. This segment of the program brought to you by Buchanan General Hospital, located in Grundy, Virginia, serving the community of Buchanan County for many years. Buchanan General Hospital. All right, gentlemen, it's time for pigskin prognostications. Let's go ahead and serve up the crow. Allow me to eat it now. I was 6-4 last week. Probably went with a couple teams I shouldn't have picked. And you guys were both 8-2, finished well. So right now you guys are in the hunt. Crig, the Tester's got me down to 7-3 over here. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'll just leave it at that.
Here, let me get me. Get out.
I'm 6-4. Krieger at 8-2. Tester. What games did
I
you
forgot
miss?
y'all took Virginia High.
I
My
took
bad.
Virginia High, boys.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I forgot.
I took Virginia High, and well, I know what I was thinking.
That's my bad.
It goes a
Y'all
long
said
way
it was
back.
at, y'all said, y'all remember y'all said it's at Virginia High.
And I
It
didn't
wasn't
know.
there, you know,
If
that-
I knew it was on concrete, I'd have picked Tazewell.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this week's games. We might even ask Coach down here to chime in on the ones he feels safe about picking.
All right, guys. First game on the docket, we got Chilhowie at John I. Burton. Big game. Still, I've watched Norton play. I know they play Ridgeview good. Chilhowie, this much.
Yeah.
I think it's close.
I'll take
Chilhowie
Chilhowie. I think Chilhowie will pull away in the
And the big
second half.
reason that I'm picking Chilhowie, guys, they forgot how it feels to lose. I mean, it's tough. I mean, they win a lot of football games.
And I think
And that helps.
somebody's going to somebody's gonna show them what it feels like.
They will, and I understand that, but right now, when you're playing like you are, I mean, they win a lot of regular season games.
I'll take Chilhowie as well. I just think momentum from last season will be enough to carry them over as well as the numbers. Burton's definitely going to be game. They're going to be 0-2, and they're going to be one of the best teams in the region.
Not so fast, my friend. I got Chilhowie at number 1, but we're going to Norton, right?
It's at North.
It's at J.I. Burton. And I've seen Burton, they're talented. I've seen Chilhowie, they're talented also. And they be the man, you got to beat the man. But I'm going with the Norton Raiders this week.
Raiders.
Lawson, Fitchco State.
I
But
did-
the thing is, that's not a bad pick.
No, it's
I
not.
mean, it's not a bad pick.
It would be considered an upset, but it's not a bad pick. We know both those teams are.
I mean, Chilhowie lost a lot of kids, but them kids win. It's contagious.
All right, who got next?
We got Twin Valley at Montcalm, West Virginia. Mountain Mama, take me home, country road.
We'll start over here on this end. What do you think? Twin Valley?
If it was at Twin Valley, I'd go Twin Valley. This is in Wild and Wonders.
Shoot.
Lord.
And you're down 20-0
You're
before
down.
you even get there.
You gotta be 3 touchdowns better to go over there and win.
I agree.
In my situation. I mean, in my, years going over there. In my experience, so. I think it's gonna be tough on Twin Valley to go over and win. I'm gonna have to go with Montcalm.
I think Coach Ward will probably make some necessary changes this week, move some linemen around, change a few things on offense. Twin Valley's gonna have to produce offensively if they plan on coming out of there for the win. 2 touchdowns is not gonna get them out of there. As you
No.
guys said, they're in the hole, and I know, I mean.
You've been thrown out many times over there.
I've been hosed over there many times. But I'm gonna take the Panthers in this one.
Well, it's a tough pick. Like I said, I've
It's
been
tough.
over there. We won 41-40 one time, and they called 3 touchdowns back, and we had to stop them on the inch line. Tough game, tough place to play. Went over there one time, they run 5 kickoffs back, trying to kick it out of bounds, never went out of bounds, they'd run it back. Yeah, that might have been the same game.
What you pick?
Probably would.
What you pick?
Tough place to play. I'm gonna go with Montcalm.
You went against your old alma mater. Oh,
2
man.
weeks in a row.
Oh, man.
He's in this thing to win it, ain't he?
Yeah, boys.
He's making strategic decisions.
The big thing is when you got injuries, been there, done that, it ain't nothing again, it's just hard. I know, I mean, it's hard, I've been there, I feel for them, I mean, going out and, like Coach Ward, I know him and Coach Baldwin and, all of them has tried to move around to put it the best way possible to get, that W this week. And if I lose that one, that's fine with me, cause I am rooting for Twin Valley all the way.
All right, Coach, we'll let you start with the next
All
one.
right, next one, Rye Cove at Hurley. We'll let Coach Cooper pick this one.
Well, we hope, we'll put it that way.
I'll go first on this one, let Greg in it. Hurley big, not even close. They jumped out 14-0 last week. It's gonna be like 28-0 this week.
I think Coach Cooper's gonna get scared in the first quarter. They may strike first and then absolutely roll.
You're
I
saying
think-
Rye Cove might strike
Yeah, I
first?
think Rye Cove
Brandon
will strike
Davis,
first.
did you hear that? You let that happen and see what happens at
Put that on
J.M.
lock
Evans
and
on the
ball.
bus.
I think Hurley wins big in this one. I think they'll contain that, but it wouldn't surprise me if,
You
they don't
can't
have to
contain
make-
nothing that's running up the middle.
I think they'll get their play. I mean, it's, that particular offense, they're gonna get one, might get one early, but I think the Rebels will settle in and they're on cruise control after that.
Brandon Davis don't give up a touchdown Friday.
I've seen Rye Cove play, and I think they're improved. Offensively, definitely improved. Got 2 good running backs. I think that Hurley will come out and be on fire, and I think Hurley will take this one by 3 touchdowns.
That sounds reasonable. What do you got?
All right, next game. We got Riverview, West Virginia at Nelson Memorial Field.
Let's start with you.
Well, seen both teams. I think Riverview is one of the most improved teams that I have seen in these scrimmages. I watched them over here at Twin Valley. I think they scored on J.I. Burton 3 times out of the first 10 plays, but it seemed like after that J.I. Burton kind of wore them down and got, ended up winning the scrimmage or whatever. But I'm going to go with Grundy's in a rebuilding year, and I just don't think they got the athletes to right now to beat Riverview. I'm gonna go with the Riverview Raiders on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take, I've seen both teams play. I'm gonna take Riverview. I think the wing tee, the fact they've got so many veteran coaches on the staff, they're a little bit older, more mature team than Grundy is. Grundy's got a lot of youth, has some growing to do, so I'm gonna take Riverview in this one.
I agree with what you both said. Grundy's young, especially at the quarterback position, and I got a feeling Ridgeview's coming with a lot of pressure, maybe a couple turnovers. Not close game, good game. I feel like, but I'm gonna go with Riverview too to win this game, just for what I seen.
Okay.
Close game, good game, go either way, but I give the edge to Ridgeview. Riverview.
Who's next?
Got Ridgeview, boys, the old wolf pack. All right, we got Castlewood at Honeacre.
Start with you, Coach.
Guys, it's going to be like it was last week. I think Honeacre squeaks out a win, but I think it's 14-0, 14-8, 14-6, something like that. Honeacre wins.
I agree with Coach Krieger. I think Tigers by a couple touchdowns, but nothing more.
Guys, I was impressed with Castlewood in the scrimmages. They were running that single wing. They were blowing people off the ball. They were physical, getting after it, and I think they were really improved. But it's at Homeacre, and I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say a 14-12 ball game.
Something like that, and I agree. And Honeacre, but the thing is, both teams going to keep the ball from each other.
That's true.
All right, next game, Y Central at Lebanon. Y Central big. I'll go ahead and pick mine. Lebanon's rebuilding. Wasn't even gonna have a team, they said.
Y Central.
And I'm talking about the 3 backs will have over 100 yards again.
I think it's a good call.
Going with Central.
Across the board.
All right, Shelby Valley, Kentucky at Ridgeview. I'm going with Ridgeview, guys. Don't know much about Shelby Valley, but that Atkins diet is on money over there at Ridgeview, and
They said that Bubba Edwards and Tiller's on that Atkins diet.
are they?
Yeah. Based on the pounds they've shaken out, they're on some kind of diet. They sure ain't even drinking on that wolf cream, I can tell you that.
That's right.
They're on something else, but I'll go Ridgeview on that one.
Ridgeview's gonna get Shelby Valley the Atkins plan
Yeah, I seen
for free.
No cost.
Ethan Owens, Bubba Edwards, and Todd Tiller. I seen them all at the ball game last weekend. They're on the Atkins.
What, he's sporting the beard, though?
They're sporting beard. Lost about each of them. Lost.
Looks like Duck Dynasty on the sideline over there. All right, we got that.
Next one, if we got Tazewell at Graham. Big.
Graham.
Yeah, go ahead.
Graham.
Now,
You want to say close?
No, but Tazewell scores 2 times on them.
Well, I should hope so against the JV team.
Three.
but what we're missing in
They
all
should
of
get-
this is the promise that you made to wear nothing but green the rest of the year.
If Tazewell wins.
He knew who was on the docket before me and you did. I didn't realize who they was playing. No wonder you made that.
No, I didn't know that until just then.
Yeah.
Abingdon at Gate City. I know this is off the wall, but boys, they gonna have to prove me wrong. I'm going with Jeremy Housewright and the Gate City Blue Devils to beat Abingdon Falcons.
Well,
Keeping the ball from them,
Legion Field's going to be rocking.
especially being 1-0.
Yes, it's being
And I
1-0.
wouldn't want to be Abingdon come in to get hit like they're gonna get hit.
It's wine and cheese versus Legion Field.
I picked Gate City.
Well, I'm gonna pick the Abingdon Falcons. I'm in the hole here. I'm in the hole here. I've got to come out. I've got to get a win here. I'm gonna take a 3A over a 1A.
Guys, I like what Gate City's doing. I like what I've seen them on film against Hurley, and I thought Hurley played them well in the scrimmage. And what they went over and did to Richlands just blew my mind. And but I think Abingdon is on a different level. Too many athletes for them. Abingdon wins this one at Legion Field.
Come on, Blue Devils. Come on, baby.
All right, what we got?
I don't know, it went off again. All right, we've got our game of the week. The Richlands Blue Tornadoes at Union. What's that field called?
Which one?
Union.
Well, they're at Union.
At
Bullet.
Bullet Park. And you can't get them bullets at Walmart no more.
That's true.
That's not fake news.
He is on a roll. Call him butter.
That's right.
He's done good. He's really been good, exceptionally well. So
You all go ahead.
All right, go ahead. We're gonna let you pick this one too.
That's a real tough one. I think that Richlands definitely come out ready to play after dropping week 1. Union's a tough team, but I'm gonna go with Coach Manson, Richlands Blue Tornado here.
How about that, boys? You and him been lathering each other up. That Mance cream. Put a little slide.
I just think after that loss, they're gonna be ready this week. I do feel that way.
Okay. What do you think, Coach?
Oh man,
He's going with his buddies.
it's a tough one. I'm kind of Coach Cooper over here. I think I'm. Union's
Well, I'm
a tough
telling
place
you.
to play. I just don't think they can get it done. Union Bears. I don't think the
Bears.
Tornadoes can get it done.
I think Richlands backs to the wall. This is a must-win game. Blue Tornado potentially and very realistically could start the season out 0-4. I think going into Union is, if the game was at home, I might would give it some more consideration, but I'm gonna take Union in this one.
Guys, it's like this. I don't have Union in the top 5. You know who I'm going to pick. I'm going with Richlands. But, and I said this at the first of the show when I started talking about Richlands. Who has to play good for Richlands to win? Who did I say? Have to have good play. Their quarterback.
Quarterback, oh yeah.
All right. If the quarterback don't play good again this week, like you said, they can start out 0-4. This is a big game. I'm going with Richlands to win the game. Mance is going to change some stuff around offensively. It's going to be a little different look. Rumor being that I got, and I think that,
You mean over in his bedroom?
I think that's going to be. I think that's going to.
They said they can't even
might make a difference.
Does he burn candles? Does he burn
Incense.
candles? Incense and
Hey.
candles when you come over.
They said they can't even pull the cover down. And Krieger's head pops up under it.
Well, speaking of Richlands, we've completely missed it. I don't know how in the world we missed it. Richlands field goal kicker,
Oh,
3
yeah.
field goals, 59, 54, and 20-some yards this past week. Getting him, if they can get the ball across midfield, they're a threat to score. But that just shows you the fact that they had to settle for those kicks.
I
But
forgot
the
about that
offense
field
isn't
goal kick. Can I
clicking.
change my pick? I forgot
Right.
about that field goal pick.
No changing. No changing.
All right.
And that is, congratulations on the record-breaking kick for the kid at Richland. Sorry, I will find out your name. I know it's been all over the place. I've been busy sleeping this week and getting my back worked on because of the beating that Gate City put. I mean, I felt it.
All right, well, anybody got any closing remarks before we exit the program here? Anything from you?
Tony Palmer hang about 60 this week.
Keep those rebels rolling.
We'll do our best.
All right, folks, well, until next.
Big R.
Big R, until next time.
Big R.
I'm Coach Moore,
Coach Tester.
And I'm Coach Krieger. Big
Coach
R.
Mance.
reminding you.
Gotta have you this week, Big R. Gotta have you,
Reminding
baby.
you that no matter where you go, there you are.
the snap, so the drop hits the quarterback.